Okay, so this is a 5-minute drum lesson video on how to mark your drum stuff so it's easier to set up. Now, I'm going to do a separate video on memory locks because this stuff here is the kind of stuff that no one really shows you, that I've just kind of picked up over the years. But a memory lock is a kind of like a clamping device that serves two purposes. One is it memorizes where your stuff was set, so when you set it back up, you can set it back up that way again. So sorry if this video is so jittery, I'm using my iPhone. But so like here's this tom arm, there's a memory lock. And that memory lock allows me to, when I put my drum back on there, it memorizes where it was. The other purpose is it's an extra clamping device to keep your instrument from sliding down or moving and stuff. There's another one right here. Let's see if you can see that. I can't really. Yeah, there you go. All right, so that's a memory lock right there. So if I took this whole tom post out, it would memorize where it was when I put it back in. Well, not all moving parts on drum hardware have memory locks. So something that I do sometimes to make my setup a little quicker is I'll take like a Sharpie, and so for instance, this clamp here, actually that is a memory lock, but let's say that's not a memory lock. Let's just say it's like a clamp. Well, if I wanted to memorize where it was and didn't have a clamp, I could just take a pen or a marker, the Sharpie, and draw a line there. So for instance, here's a perfect example. Let's say I wanted to memorize where the tilting setting was on my snare stand. So here's my snare stand. And so I can adjust the tilt here. I might take a line and go across that. And so now, if I ever bend this up and pack it away, I can find how it was set before. And then on this particular snare stand, it doesn't have a memory lock, and I actually like the height of it, so I'm going to put that mark there. So now that's memorized where it was at. Okay, so that's how you do it with a marker. So if I took all of this apart, that line there allows me to get it back where it was. So I can make lines going this way, or if I need to set it, I guess you would call that the vertical line. You could do a vertical line so you memorize the positioning that was in as well. All right, so here's another way to do this. I'm going to put this marker down. So let's say you have a big drum set, which this is what I'm working on right now. Is I have a big, massive drum set with 7 toms, 2 bass drums, and 3 or 4 snares that I use, a whole bunch of cymbals. So these memory clamps and locks are really important to me because I just want this setup to be quicker. Well, another thing that I'm really frustrated with is positioning of my bass drums to the rest of the kit, because I'm using a rack. So I'm using a Gibraltar rack here. It's pretty large. So that bass drum right there, it's not attached to anything, so the distance from me to the bass drum is easy for me to figure out, but where this bass drum is in relation to the rack sometimes can be confusing for me, especially with all this mess that I have here. What I'm doing is I'm actually zip tying my hi-hat stand to my bass drum because I don't have a whole lot of room for the pedals. Okay, so this is important to me, and so I'm going to mark this carpet. There's a couple ways to do it. You can take some tape. So I got some tape here. Duct tape works okay. Probably is the best thing, but the thing is duct tape's going to leave some sticky stuff all over your carpet if you decide to ever repurpose it. So sometimes I use electrical tape, and so you can like put tape around the pedal like that to figure out where you want it. There's some leftover tape from something else. But I'm kind of tired of the tape thing. The tape thing's nice if you plan on removing it one day. But I plan on using this carpet pretty much forever with a drum set, and especially this drum set. So what I'm going to do today, if I can figure out what I did with it, is I'm going to take some spray paint, and I'm just going to spray paint the positioning of a couple things to help me better memorize where I had to put. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that rack leg, and since this is black, I'm going to use this black paint just to paint the carpet. So whenever I go to move the rack later, I don't know if you can see that, everything got painted except for where that little leg's going to go. So I'm going to do it here too. And the black's nice because it blends in with the carpet. I'm going to go over here, do the same thing. And then, to solve my bass drum issue, I'm actually going to spray paint the pedals, but I'm going to try to avoid spray painting the part I'm actually putting my feet on. So we're going to do the outline of it. There's that. That. There's that. I'm not really worried about the heel plate having paint on it because that's not really where I'm gripping the pedal. All right. So that's that. So that's those are a couple ways you can mark stuff to make drum setting up a lot easier. This drum set is huge. If you go to my Facebook, you'll see a picture of this silver D drum set that I play for this band I play in called Whiplash. Huge drum set. I can actually set it up in less than 10 minutes because I've done things like this to make my life a lot easier. All right, so my name is Tobin Wagstaff. This has been a 5-minute drum lesson. Please subscribe to my Facebook and click that like button at facebook.com/TobinWagstaffMusic. Subscribe to me on YouTube at youtube.com/TobinWagstaffMusic or visit my website at TobinWagstaff.com. Thanks.